All right, so now we're going to talk about some of the different coral colonies that we have in here. Again, this tank is 5 years old, and the majority of the corals that were stocked in the tank were aquacultured. And all of them were smaller than the baseball size, so there's been a lot of growth. To give you an idea of how fast some of the corals grow, there's this white-tipped, bluish, teal-colored acropora colony up here, this really big one. There's another chunk of it over here. This colony came in about the size of 2 fingers, about 3 inches long, and we've grown it to that size 3 times. And chunks have been pulled out of the colony and fragged up. It's just, so to give you an idea for how fast some corals can grow over time. Here's another monster in the tank. We have this big leather coral. Now, I have a big pair of garden shears that are about 3.5 feet long with 1 foot long blades, like scissors on the end of it. And we use that to snip off these big lobes because you can see how it's crowding into the xenia over here. They used to crowd into the bubble corals, and there's actually a jet coming up here from the main pump. So we whack off these huge sections of the leather coral that are almost like the size of a child's football every 3 or 4 months, sometimes more frequently. So nice big sarcophyte in here. In the front we have this nice pink, it's darkened a little bit lately, but it's a stylophora coral right there. And that one, if you look up here to the right, frag from that coral is pink. Bright pink. Oh darn, its light is off. I don't know if the color's gonna come out, but it's right there. Fortunately, that light fixture is not cooperating with us. But having it be about 18 inches higher in the water column, it grows bright pink. So right next to that, we've also got this solid purple acropora colony. And when we frag this coral, we put it in our coral farm under the LEDs, which by the way are aqua illumination sol is the type of fixture. Over there, this purple coral turns two-tone, has a nice green hues to it, and it's beautiful. We call it the purple chronic. And then of course we have this pulsing xenia colony that is just doing fantastically, especially when you feed the tank with iodine. It does really well. Up top we have this nice two-tone acropora table. It's a beautiful colony, and that colony has been here for, I think, from day 1. So it's about 5 years old. Doing great. To its left, we have a Tridacna durasa clam that's about almost a foot long. There's 2 of those clams in the tank. They've spawned on several occasions. Pretty amazing to see these clams spawn. To the left of that, we have orange Capricornus, Montipora capricornus. And that coral went through a bad period where it was really having a hard time when I was experimenting with peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. This is where I was making my own mistakes, and I dosed the tank too heavily, and that coral bleached out, and now it's bounced back really well. You can see all different kinds of zoanthids surrounding it. Up to the left, we have the Bali green slimer acropora colony. And then down below it to the left, we have another purple-tipped acropora colony. And right down here we have, right there, we have a Pavona cactus coral, also known as a potato chip coral. And we'll move around over here to the left. We've got Hollywood stunner chalice right there. It's funny. It doesn't grow as fast over here in this tank as it does in the coral farm. Seems like it grows twice as fast over there. And again, we got all kinds of zoanthid colonies. Which ones are these, Rick?
These are the deep pocket zoas.
And is that deep pockets right next to it, or is that?
Those are the blow
different?
pops.
Blow pops. Rick is a zoa master. I don't know anybody who knows as much about zoas as Rick. What else we got there?
These are the mint chips.
Right. Back there?
Yep. These are just a big monster colony of the deep pockets again. Then in the far back, we got some tropical punch. And then on the wall, we got the kiwi zoas.
Oh, let's do that. I love this coral colony in here. Now, of course, I'm having a brain cramp. I can't think of the name of this coral.
Is it a platygyro?
Actually, I think you're right. I think it's a platygyro, stony coral. It also did not like when I treated the tank with hydrogen peroxide. Now, I'm not saying hydrogen peroxide is necessarily bad, but it is when you dose it at 10 times, or I think it was 12 times the recommended strength. I got excited. But it's bounced back and doing really well. Now, this leather coral is really taken off too. It's going to be another monster. We also have a bunch of orange bubble-tipped Entacmia quadricolors, bubble-tipped anemones in here. And we have some waving hand clavularia, waving hand polyps, but they don't look like it. Where is it? Right there. I would think I was pointing at the green Nephtheus for a second, but that waving hand, problem is our blue hippo tang likes to snack on it. It used to grow like crazy in the tank, and then the hippo tang started snacking on it, and now it looks like a stump. More zoanthids here. What's this pally down here in the sand?
Those are the Jason Fox nuclear green pallies.
We got this nice fungia coral here. We just got it in recently, and now it looks all nice and gorgeous and pink and everything, but it's not opening during the day. It came from a tank that was under metal halides, and for some reason it doesn't like the lighting in this tank. When the lights turn off, it opens up nice and puffy, but during the day it's very closed up. I think it's just taken a long time to adapt. We got a big old colt coral in here, big soft coral. So that ought to give you an idea for some of the colonies. You can see here on this clam, this Tridacna duracea clam. I don't know if you can see some of the coral colonies. Let's see if I can point with my finger. Right there and right there are some Possilpora damicornis stony corals. And that's a stony coral that will, if you have it in your tank, it'll eventually spawn as long as you have happy conditions. We've taken a half a 5-gallon bucket of these colonies out of here and bleached them because they were growing so fast and so prolific. And that's from sexual reproduction. And of course you got the rostozoas in the middle. And this big funky, what's that big green mushroom back there?
Is that a rhodie?
It might be a rhodactis. I wanted to say elephant ear, but I know it's not an elephant ear because those are actually a type of anemone that eat fish. And it's not that.
What about the Turbinera?
Oh yeah, we got the yellow turbinaria in here. For some reason that coral hasn't grown